Well, country music, first of all, was the original American music.
Yep.
It precedes rock. Obviously, it precedes rap, hip hop, pop, modern pop music. It precedes all that. And so because of that, pop, rock, hip hop, it will always have roots in country music.
Right.
And if you go back all the way to the 1920s, and I love history and I love thinking about stuff like that, but you go all the way back to like the 1920s when it was first commercialized from the songs of the agricultural people of the South.
Right.
And that's all it was. It was songs for the farmers.
Yeah.
And it was using, bluegrass instruments with some soul from the soul rising that was coming out of the South in the same time. And what that built was something that had never been heard before, and it became very, very popular. It's so popular that it became the mother of all these other genres. So I think it's only appropriate that the mother of all these genres could every once in a while get something from its offspring.
Yeah.
No one ever talks about that, but it makes perfect sense that country music can sound like a little bit like hip-hop sometimes because it's the mother of hip-hop.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
It could sound like rock because it is the mother of rock.
Right.
And if you talk to like the Rolling Stones, which I haven't, but I've heard interviews from the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, and they all have influences from country.
Right.
When they even talk about those old country artists where they rocked harder and partied harder
Hank
than
Sr.
anybody ever. Hank Sr. partied harder than anybody ever.
Just watch that documentary they did on him.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's pretty insane.
It's crazy. And then there's Luke Bryan. He's just very popular, and anything in culture that becomes very popular also becomes hated. Whatever's loved is equally hated. It's always been like that.
Right.
And so you hear the haters usually speak louder than the lovers.
Yeah.
But we've been on tour with Luke, and we've seen he has a lot of lovers. They come out for hundreds and hundreds of miles to these concerts. And as a person, that dude is hillbilly country.
For sure.
He grew up on a peanut farm.
Yep.
In Georgia. Like he could barely speak English. He is so country. All due respect, Luke. But to say Luke Bryan ain't country is completely contradicting itself.
Yeah. I think
that's what's funny about it.
And what we've always said is country's in your heart, it's not in your closet. And when you see Luke Bryan on American Idol with his hair done and he's wearing a leather jacket or something, doesn't mean that he's not going to go back to Georgia or Nashville, wherever he's at, and go hunt whitetails and bass fish and do that. But I think country music is, the message is still there. In every song in country, and it may sound a little different, but that's just the times changing. But the message is still there, and that's where I've never had anybody explain it to me like you did, like with everything being based off of that. So I like that answer. That's good.
I mean, let's look at it like American Idol has a country artist as one of the judges. That's awesome.
Right. Yeah.
That only helps country music.
It does.
That helps the dirt core country sound, and it helps the slick pop, whatever it does, it helps the genre as a whole.
Yeah.
When Garth came out and got so huge, everyone hated that.
Yeah.
Oh, who's this guy, Garth? Now we look back and go, Garth?
Yeah.
He's as country as it gets.
Yeah. Unless it's Chris Gaines.
Unless it's Chris Gaines.